Well, it's been a while, but it all has come down to this. The World Wrestling Federation has done their belated spring cleaning and have released about 11 superstars in the World Wrestling Federation. Some of it's sad, some of it's surprising, some not so much. Let us take a look at the order of those who have been given the boot. We start off our sad list of goodbyes with Yoshitatsu, and I will admit, he is one of my favorites coming from the quote-unquote revitalized ECW. Yoshi is one of the best talents I've ever seen, the best I've seen from the Land of the Rising Sun, of course, and yet the poor guy has been mistreated since, I don't know, NXT Redemption. May I remind you about his feud with Tyson Kidd over an action figure. He got a new gimmick to go along with his name, but it still went nowhere for the poor guy. The poor guy went down to NXT to get some more training, despite the fact that he is 37 years old. Really? He looks like 28 to me. But what do I know? The last we saw of Yoshitatsu was in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and sadly that will be the last we're going to see of the poor guy. So I wish Yoshitatsu the best when he gets back to Japan. Next up is something really surprising in the form of Evan Bourne getting the boot. Yes, the high-flying former tag team champion with, of course, Kofi Kingston. Remember when they were called Air Boom? Evan Bourne has just gotten the boot, and I do feel sorry for the guy. He's one of the best high flyers I've ever seen in the WWF recently, and yes, you could harp on about the poor guy, getting busted for smoking the weed, and then as soon as he was trying to get back, he gets in a car accident, and I remember hearing that they're trying to recently team him up with Tyson Kidd, and now that's blown out of the window. The only bright side I will see out of the man formerly known as Evan Bourne is, hey, at least he's referring to himself as Matt Sydal again, thanks to the WWF's bullshit trademarks. Blame this guy. And next up on the choppy block is the Funkasaurus Brodus Clay. Of course, he didn't start off as the Funkasaurus, and this wasn't the first time the poor guy actually got released. He was around since the days of Deep South Wrestling, when that was the developmental area, under the name G-Rilla. He was then brought back as Brodus Clay for Florida Championship Wrestling, and was on NXT Season 4 as Alberto Del Rio's rookie. Several months passed by. He was wrestling on Superstars, and then we get him as an example of what happens when Flash Funk let himself go. You get the Funkasaurus. And sadly, even though there was a decent tag team with him and Tensai called Tons of Funk, the poor guy started to languish as a heel, and what? Over borrowing his entrance music? That's pretty lousy for a heel turn. And then the poor guy was sparingly used. Last time I saw him, he got his ass kicked by the Shield, or what was the Shield, and now this. I feel it's appropriate for me to say that the Funkasaurus has been extinct. Next up on the chopping block is Camacho, Hunigo's former Barrio brother. Yes, the son of Haku really got the short end of the stick and was stuck with a stereotype. Instead of bringing forth, something related to his dad's legacy, they put him in this. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot. Camacho was also tag team partners with Brodus Clay, and while they were in Florida Championship Wrestling, they were called the Colossal Connection 2. Well, we'll never see that come into fruition, but hold up just a second, players! Theodore Long has also gotten the boot, which is really surprising to me because the guy has been around as a WWF referee back in 1998. After that, he became a manager. Remember when he managed Rodney Mack? And then he became the SmackDown general manager, and we always get the jokes about him making tag team matches for no good reason. But with the phasing out of general managers, and I guess they don't have any managerial duties for any of the other wrestlers for Theodore Long, unfortunately old Teddy Boy's gone the boot. So long, Teddy. You're always entertaining in my heart. Next up on the choppy block, Kurt Hawkins. Well, it looks like the poor guy is joining his old running buddy Vance Archer into the unemployment line, and another former tag partner of his, Tyler Rex, also in that same unemployment line. Poor guy. And I think he used to be teammates with Zack Ryder, and they were known as the Major Brothers. And he actually brought that gimmick into ECW, but then they got changed to the Edgeheads. But I do have good news on Kurt Hawkins and Brodus Clay's front. These guys will be a part of the Pro Wrestling Syndicate roster. So if you're ever in the East Coast and you see these guys, give them their support. Hey, oh my god. Oksana, you got released! Oh my god! I just saw you on Raw being force-fed dirty popcorn by Alicia Fox. Well, I did this joke once, and now this joke is coming true again. Chibies! Where was I? Oh yeah, and now we go into something 10 times as surprising. 3MB has split up. Yes, that's right. Jinder Mahal, the most terminally unhip member of the trio, and Drew McIntyre, the chosen one, they got the boot, leaving Heath Slater all by his lonesome. And knowing his luck, he's going to be teaming up with Hornswoggle. I feel sorry for Jinder Mahal because of the fact that the guy could have been a great heel, but the only thing he got going for him in that regard was being the great Khali's jerk-ass of a brother-in-law. That's it. And as for Drew McIntyre, I mean, what a tragedy this guy has gotten himself into. The poor guy was chosen as the chosen one, and yet afterwards, in recent years, the guy has become a poor joke. And to think the guy had, like, what? A face turn coming. The guy had a face turn coming along, and that didn't happen. And now he's probably saying to himself, I was the chosen one. What the hell is this? Why the hell am I getting released? This is bullshit. And in an unsurprising route, Mark Harris, the alias of former Empire Wrestling Federation referee Ron Washington. Wait, is it Ron or Tony Washington? Anyway, the former Ron or Tony Washington has been released from the WWF as well. And the poor guy is usually getting a lot of flack, his name only being brought up over how crappy he was as a ref. And of course, you could blame the one time he fouled up on a tag team match where he effed up a 2 count between Natty Neidhart and AJ Lee. Oh boy. All I'm thinking of is, what's next? Wait a minute.
Yo, 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 yo! Pop a 40 and check your rollies. It's crime.
And JTG has just been released. Wow, took him this long. Maybe he'll go on as the neighborhoodie in another company. But I do have at least one request for these wrestlers. For the love of all the things that are holy, don't go here or here.